good if it just... There we go. And 3, 2, 1. What's up, America? How are we doing today? My name is Amp, and we got Tafari here.
Tony had to do adult things, so Amp's on camera today. Glad to have you.
This feels weird.
From behind the producer's chair.
Lifting up the cloak, as they will. Is that what they call it? The cloak or the...
Cloak.
The skirt, the
curtain,
the curtain.
Pulling back the curtain.
Why can't I think of the curtain?
I haven't watched Oz in so long. And I'm talking about Wizard of Oz, not the prison show that was weird. So do we just want to jump into it with
Yeah.
I feel it works because me and Tony will do Zombieland next week. It works better. It's Halloween and whatnot. So
yeah, give it time. Let it build up. It's
have you guys
lure.
doing anything costume wise? Parties? Tyrion getting a dog outfit?
I'm not sure if Tyrion's getting a dog outfit.
Will he eat it?
No, I'm just kidding.
If he tries, will he eat it?
No, he wouldn't eat it. No, he would own it. We put like weird stuff on him sometimes. Oh, that sounded weird. That sounded weird.
He doesn't abuse his dog.
That didn't sound right.
Easy there. Twitch is banning people. You're not a girl. You will get banned.
Get me, Blizzard. Yeah, right. Yeah, you'll get banned for saying weird things about your dog. We put these like cozy like sleeves on him, like a shirt, and it's weird to talk about a dog because like they don't really wear clothes. Like this like overall shirt that kind of calms him down when we leave the house. He doesn't really eat that. He actually likes that. He likes being around people or feeling touch. So, him wearing a shirt, I don't think he'll maul it.
It's like a forever hug outfit.
Yeah, in a sense. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
So. Well, we're doing movie news today. What do you want to start with? We've had some things pop off lately.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like you were saying, Tony isn't able to join today. We kind of have to throw a bunch of stuff together and hopefully produce a good enough show that we can have some viewers and so that you guys can keep going weekly. So that's fun. I got some news for you. And the big one that I got coming out right now. Have you heard about this new movie? It's a remake. Dr. Dolittle. They're doing a remake.
I saw that.
This is like within the past 20 years? Is it long enough of a period of time to do a remake?
When was the first?
Eddie Murphy made the remake of the original.
Wait, there was an original before?
Yes, there was an original before.
Okay, so people
Eddie
can't
Murphy.
get mad at Eddie Murphy saying like, "Oh, this is Eddie's property. How dare Robert Downey Jr."
Right, exactly. This was not his original idea.
Honestly, we live in outrage culture. I was looking for the outrage on Twitter. I was like, "Where are all the? This is Eddie Murphy's bit. He should be doing it again or have some involvement and blah blah." No, apparently, 1998 was the first Dr. Dolittle. Well, my generation's Dr. Dolittle. The original, Huey Lost Story, 1920. The story. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Does Disney own that too?
Well, there was 1967 film as well.
Really?
There's been quite a few different variations of Dr. Dolittle. So.
Okay, I see 1997, 1967, 1920. Okay, so this wasn't like an original. Okay, so
no, he's been around for a while. So, but that brings me up to my point, though. Eddie Murphy had his back in 1998. That felt like yesterday. It really does. It doesn't feel like it was that long.
20 years ago, Christ.
So my question is, first off, Robert Downey Jr., is this a lower thing for him? Like, I don't think he's desperate for roles. I think anyone would hire him for a role. But why would you take this role? This seems like a really weird kind of. Like you're on this Marvel high, and then you just get killed off in like the greatest cinematic masterpiece of all time, and now you're doing Dr. Dolittle movies? What is happening?
I don't think he's ever been limited, because even during the Marvel thing, he did what was it, Holmes and Watson? It was weird after what? I think an Avengers film.
The Sherlock Holmes. He did the Sherlock Holmes.
It was weird to see him in something else after 2 Iron Man movies and an Avengers film. But okay, he's still an actor. He's not limited to Marvel, and there's going to be something else afterwards.
Totally.
And that was like my first time seeing him post Marvel starting. Like, okay, he does quality work everywhere. So Dolittle, I think, will be just fine. Please let Tom Holland play the monkey. That is all I ask. Let him be the night
If
monkey.
you're watching, please chime in. We have the chat open right now so we can see what you guys are saying. Like Gunner, he just chimed in. Probably Paycheck is pretty good. So he's talking about the paycheck and how...
Also that.
Yeah, so he's talking about the paycheck and how that could possibly be doing or, making his... opinion or viewpoint on the movie. So he did this little promotional thing for the NFL, and he showed up on I want to say NFL Fox. He shows up and he breaks up a fight between the Rams and the Falcons mascot, and it's him just kind of like talking to him like Dr. Doolittle does to the animals.
That's whoever came up with that idea is brilliant. You deserve a raise.
So it kind of worked out really well. That was a good push for the movie. But I mean, overall, it just seems like maybe I'm being too harsh on the man or the idea of this. And Gunnar has a good point. The paycheck is probably pretty good, but it just seems like it's beneath him. Like it just does.
Think?
Yes.
People thought, okay, good. Another good one he did. Due Date. Due Date was hilarious.
Due Date was incredible. But Due Date was like a written script. It was like a written, thought out. Script, like movies like these remakes or these like reboots or whatever you want to call them, they're always kind of like, all right.
Was the Shaggy Dog beneath Robert Downey Jr.?
I don't know.
He was Dr. Kozak in that one.
Oh man, I've totally forgot about that. Yeah, no.
Apparently he was. Wait, which one is Patrick? Patrick Pewterschmidt in Family Guy. He played the first Patrick. Lois's brother, apparently, the fat guy strangler.
Holy crap!
I think apparently that's him.
That's awesome. I would have never known that.
Look, whatever we do, the Singing Detective. I haven't seen most of these, but the ones I have, The Soloist, that was okay.
The Judge is really good.
The Judge was good.
That's what I mean. Those type of movies make sense for him, but Dr. Doolittle. That just sounds, I don't know. It just sounds...
It looks like it's going to be a less funny Doolittle, though. Like, it's going to be more dramatic.
Right?
Like, more A Wrinkle in Time-ish. Versus where everybody thought it would be, like, one of those sillier type... No, it was more serious tone, but lighthearted at the same time for kids.
Side note, it's not a Disney film. As much as they want to make it feel like it is, it's not a Disney film.
They just own everything. I'm just used to throwing... like when the way they've been tweeting lately with the Disney Plus lineup, they hit a whole like year by year of like I think 1950 to like this year.
It's crazy.
Of properties they own or movies that came out. I'm like,
it's crazy, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, I think Doolittle will do well.
All right, I'll take your word on it. All right, so your turn. You give us something.
Speaking of streaming, we now have HBO Max coming, which is completely separate from HBO Go.
How is this any different?
I don't even know, but apparently they don't have that strong. Okay, so from what I'm seeing, which out right now, I hate that it is. I can talk. I know English. It's all subbed, but we have Studio Ghibli Library, which features huge titles such as Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki's Delivery Service, My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, and Spirited Away. I don't think Ponyo will be on that list because that's a Disney movie that was made through Studio Ghibli. So it will be a part of the HBO Max library. While John Oliver joked that HBO Max feels more like TV than HBO, High Art Library gives HBO some gravitas. So they're also getting, okay, I thought this was the original Michael Scott. They're getting the original Office, the UK one.
Okay.
So they're getting The Office, Top Gear, Luther, and The Honorable Woman. And on top of that, which is bringing my happy ass to their platform most likely, we are getting... Where did I just put it? No, CNN. I would not like to turn my ad blocker off. Go away.
It's going to cost $15. It's going to cost
Fire Stick.
$15.
I didn't say that. What?
Holy cow.
Support the official release. Don't bootleg. I'm kidding.
Wow.
So we are getting... The Boondocks is getting a reboot officially. So we had 3 seasons.
Is that going to be on HBO Max?
HBO Max. 2 seasons in a movie.
Gonna have to be paying $15. How much do you like that show?
A lot. As much stuff has gone on in the last 10 years, the show needs to make a comeback. That show was like, I don't want to compare it. It was like the Black Simpsons. So many things they predicted on that show came true. Everything from rappers wearing guns and purses in dresses and stuff. Boondocks. R. Kelly, the whole R. Kelly thing. Back in 2005, they tried to say this, and now it's an issue. They have an unofficial Instagram where they just post clips of stuff happening back on their show, and then happening today, and it's like, we called it. Like the Popeyes chicken thing. They had a whole fried chicken epidemic, like flu pandemic episode in season 3. They're like, we call this one too. Whew. So the show has been deep. The problem was Aaron Magruder, who is, I think, a genius or from the future, he did one last season, and they were like, well, we want you to write, 3 episodes a week? Versus he took, I think, 5 years between each season. So season 1 was like 2005. 2 was like 2010. And I believe the third one was like 2013, 2015-ish. So they came out far, but he needed subject matter, and it took time to create. And they're like, we need you to up that like 3,000%. And he's like, I can't do it. So they took his property and just cranked out 10 trash episodes. Didn't even say, oh, series finale. After the last episode, they were like, by the way, you can buy the full series on DVD now. And he was already working on a show called Black Jesus with Corey Holcomb, which is hilarious. Charlie Murphy was on there too, rest in peace. So they worked out a deal. Magruder gets his property back. And now we're getting 2 seasons of like the show being rebooted and tackling today's modern day issues. And then a movie on top of that. So they're getting some heavy hitters. However, it's not like other streaming platforms where they're just coming with like, hey, your entire livelihood is in here. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
That's me on HBO. What you got?
All right. So moving on. I know you just saw the trailer. I was listening to you listen to it.
I had to see it because I had to see what everyone was talking about. I have so many questions, none that anyone can answer.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. They just dropped their trailer last night during the halftime of the Monday Night Football game. I got to tell you, this trailer gave me like goosebumps. I was stoked. It looked awesome. It gave you a lot of questions, like you were saying. But there is a but in this situation. This will be the 11th film in this, I guess, the whole franchise up to this point. This will be the 11th film, and they claim it's the last one of the saga or the last one of the series, right?
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the animated one.
No,
Rogue
don't
One.
count the animated ones. They were talking about the featured films.
Rogue One and Solo, that's, you said 11, right?
Yep.
What are the 2 I'm missing?
Really?
I'm trying to think.
What? Really?
Oh yeah, I'm adding the other 2 from this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like all.
Wow.
I'm thinking like prequels and.
No, man, there was only 2 prequels.
So the 11th, the animated one doesn't count.
Nope. No, unfortunately not. But all the featured films that are in real human form, this one is going to be the longest one out of all of them. It is going to run at 155 minutes. If you don't know what that means in converted time, it's 2 hours and 35 minutes of pure Star Wars action, drama, romance, all the above that they can
We
throw.
don't have much romance going on in this saga.
This saga has it has one, which is Finn
and the old girl, yeah.
that's it. And it's not even like it's a weird one. Like it's not even like a major plot point.
Yeah,
it's kind of just thrown in there, so it doesn't really make sense. J.J. Abrams obviously is his hands are all over this,
of course.
So he's going to be the big man, kind of leading the ship on this. But how do you feel about that? This is the last installment. It's 155 minutes. The closest one to 155 minutes is The Last Jedi, which was only 3 minutes shorter at 152 minutes. They've all been fairly past 130 minutes. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, was 142 minutes, so that'd be your third longest one. But I mean, overall, you saw the trailer, I saw the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, all you gotta do is just YouTube, and you'll find it instantly. It's all over the place. I mean, dude, has a lot of questions. They have a lot of story. They do. Like, they have to compress into this last one.
And then the problem becomes there's so many properties. When we thought this wasn't coming back for the 7th one, they wrote books, like side stories, and now you got to decide what is and isn't canon. Which the 2003 series, which I think it had dropped after. No, it happened between. It was supposed to be filler between episode 2 and 3. Genndy Tartakovsky, who wrote and created Samurai Jack and Dexter's Laboratory, had an animated series. It was like 2 seasons of like 15-minute shorts, and it was basically covering the gap of basically if Star Wars was more like that show, it'd be top king more than it is already in the box office. And they had some good stuff going on there. But I don't know. Like, that recently got declared as canon, which makes me more sad that, like, Grievous in episode 3 came out the way he did. Because this dude was, like, beating the dog piss out of, like, 6 Jedi Masters with no effort. Like, had them surrounded by an army of, like, droids inside a wreck ship and just hold up his hand and was like, I'll do this myself. Walks in and is holding sabers with his feet. Like, that is how cold he was. And then Mace crushes his lungs. And then we get the Nerf version of the third movie. So there's been a lot of... There's been a lot of just content in this series as is. And I'm not surprised that it's being... I don't say it's being milked, but I feel like... Because I'm hearing this is the end of the Skywalker story. I'm hearing that we'll get 3 more after this. I don't even know if this is the end.
So I've heard that too. I've heard that the end of the saga is basically the end of the Skywalker saga, if you will. And then
will he even be in it? Because he pulled a.
His voice was in it.
His voice in the Emperor's, but I'm thinking we're gonna get a lot of Luke training in the Dagobah system hallucinations. I don't think it's gonna be.
Could be.
Because he pulled a... I literally sat in the theater and was like, okay, I thought he was really going to pull an Obi-Wan. He didn't do it. Then he fades over. I'm like, never mind. He did. I was like genuinely upset I got that wrong.
I don't know what my expectations are for this last one because I really hated The Last Jedi with a passion.
Really?
I hated The Last Jedi. It was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Force Awakens?
The Force Awakens was probably the second worst out of all the films.
Okay, I guess I'm not like...
If I had to rank them, it would be like this. From worst to best, The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, Solo, then Attack of the Clones, then Revenge of the Sith, then... Oh, man, that's tough. Phantom Menace, probably. Then Return of the Jedi, then Empire Strikes Back, then Rogue One, then A New Hope.
You know what we need to do? There's like
that would be
these
my
websites where they have like lists like A through F, and you can just rank like different things. We should just do a live stream of us doing those.
I know. I need a green screen so bad so I can just put stuff.
I've seen so many of my friends who I like didn't think we get big on YouTube. Not hating, just some of y'all are wild. Like one of my buddies when he got a green screen, he just changed his streaming game up.
Dude,
I'm like
green
jealous.
screens.
I got one of my friends just used the sheet.
Do wonders. All right, we're going way off topic there. Anyways,
but yeah, Star Wars. Not a fan of the new ones.
Make sure you go check out the trailer. Make sure you get involved with this. I'm gonna see it. Obviously, it's been a part of my entire life. So
yeah, it's been. I guess I'm not. I won't say I'm not a diehard. Like for me, it's just like okay, new Star Wars is coming out. I don't have like these high expectations. I'm not that deep. I'm not that deep into the lore. I didn't see the original 3 when I wasn't born when they came out. So
the way you are about Boondock Saints is the way I am about Star Wars.
Boondock Saints. Is
not Boondock Saints. Boondocks.
I'll say Boondocks because Boondocks is imperative to the culture.
Yeah. See, and Star Wars is imperative to
also,
my culture.
Also, now that social media is what it is, you know how much fallout I get to see happen from people getting. Like, Tyler Perry fired his whole staff over a Boondocks episode. That's how much drama they were causing.
That's rough.
And that's before, like, Twitter and Facebook and everything got big.
So, do you have another story?
Let's go down my list here. Oh, yeah. Do we finally want to discuss in detail Disney and Sony?
Yeah, I had something pulled up here. I don't want to do that one just yet.
All right.
We're going to say that one last.
All right. Okay, so, touching Star Wars, Endgame's pre-sale ticket record, gone. Thanos, they have gone and done away with that today. So, I don't know who this is.
What do you mean by that?
So, no. Okay, to all you people, we get it. Social media is taking away all your news revenue. Stop asking me to turn on my ad blocker. My computer is not getting AIDS because you need to make a penny. Moving on, Cinema Blend. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker's pre-sales are already breaking records, including Avengers Endgame. So I don't think they have the number. Okay, Force Awakens is still the 4th gross-highing film, $2.6 billion. Rogue One. Get to the point. Okay, I don't see the numbers, but Endgame basically has lost the record for pre-sale tickets.
Wow.
Because I had one of my friends.
Makes sense.
Legit, the trailer dropped, and he took a screenshot. It was like, literally, the theater's empty. I'm taking the 2 middle seats. He took a screenshot 2 minutes later. Everything's gone.
Dude, yeah. If you haven't got your tickets yet, I haven't got my ticket yet, so
I'm not a.
There's a slim chance I might not make
see
it.
Movies on Christmas though, like I didn't.
It's
I don't
not
know
on Christmas. It's going to be on the. It opens on the 20th, I believe.
I thought it was. I could have swore it was 25th.
I think the trailer said the 20th, but I could be wrong. Double check me on that. But yeah, tons of people go and see movies on Christmas, man.
I guess if you like you.
I mean, you're off work. What else are you going to do?
saying,
Hang out with your in-laws?
I guess it's different for me because my family is.
I don't have any in-laws.
My family. Give it time. Me and my family are usually like we have a schedule sun up to sundown. Like my mom's side is in the morning, afternoon. Then at afternoon to night to basically the next morning is my dad's side of the family, and both sides are. We're that family who, if you get tired of your family, want to come hang with us, we'll basically adopt you and act like you've been here forever.
Makes sense.
We literally just jump from one house to another, like as a whole.
Yeah.
So Christmas for me has always been a packed day. So a movie fitting in there is always weird for me.
Yeah,
But then I get it, like,
my
if
life
it-
used to be like that,
If
but
it's
now
just-
that I'm older,
if
we
it's
don't
just
do that
like,
anymore.
okay, wife, girlfriend, and kids, and you don't really see anyone else that day, you got time, I guess, to go see a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
because
dude.
the whole opening of gifts and presents and all, it's like an hour or two max.
Maybe, yeah. And then most of the time they just want to play with their toys and stuff.
Exactly.
I
You
mean,
go
I
straight-
like playing with my toys. So, anyways,
He means these things, not like whatever's in there.
yeah. No. Moving on. Gemini Man. You heard of this movie?
Okay,
The
I've
Will
heard that
Smith-
it's doing terrible. I've heard
You're
that-
already beating me to my punch,
I've heard
man.
that. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Wow, you beat me to my punch, buddy. No, Will Smith's Gemini Man. If you haven't heard about this, or if you have not seen it, there's probably a good reason why. It's not the best movie out there, but what's even worse about it, it's expected to lose $75 million. $75 million. The budget for this movie was $138 million. It's only generated $8.5 million in the box office.
And that's worldwide or just like domestically?
I'm assuming that's just domestically at this point.
That feels weird to me that people aren't showing out for Will Smith. Like,
It's not a good sign. The opening. Now, this is opening weekend. So internationally. Oh, I'm sorry. During its second weekend internationally, it only grossed $33.4 million, a 59% decrease from its opening weekend when it made $82.5 million. This is very interesting. So domestically, it only made $8.5 million, and then internationally, it made $33.4 million. But again, still, it is $75 million in the hole. And then once you get past weekend 2, I mean, it doesn't go up. And that number definitely goes way down after weekend
I'm like
2.
genuinely shocked that people.
Did you see it?
I have not yet. I was
So
gonna
you can't say it was
I was gonna
good.
save it for one of our later watchings.
Well, if it's still in theaters, maybe you can try.
Yeah,
It's
because
a
I
tough
feel
one.
like it might get yanked soon if it doesn't.
If any of you have seen Gemini Man, let us know what you thought, if you liked it or if you didn't. But for Will Smith, this is not a good sign. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. When I first saw the trailer to this, I thought it was like, what was that movie he was in? Legacy or Legend? I Am Legend.
I'm Legend. Yeah,
I Am Legend. It looked just like that. Like, it looked just like that, except with like a twin, because you didn't really see a lot of people. Like, you saw like a car chase and then stuff, and then there's like 2 other characters in it. But then like the rest of the movie, it's like him in his black jacket that he was in I Am Legend.
yeah.
And
Whenever
then he
does
has
the,
like his
with the full black fit with the
Yeah.
like the short haircut. That's like action movie Will Smith. Because I was
With
watching I
his,
Am Robot last night,
mhm.
and he's dressed exactly the same, like haircut and all.
It's weird, man. I don't know why. And he's got a little goatee going on. Will Smith is an excellent actor. Let me just point that out right now.
Guaranteed, yes.
He's one of the best actors out there, honestly. But, people are giving him grief about his genie. A lot of people didn't like his genie.
I thought his genie was great. People need to leave that alone.
And then you throw in this movie, you sprinkle in the Gemini Man, and he hasn't had a great luck when it comes to films. So, I don't know. Maybe he will have a resurgence here after this film. Maybe he'll find some better roles. I don't know. This is interesting.
Why I don't love the Fresh Prince?
Everybody loves Fresh Prince, man. That's something.
Speaking of, I've been looking for this for a while. Fresh Prince is also going to HBO Max. I just looked it up. 'Cause I was
Sweet.
curious as to why it's never been on a streaming service. Because that show was, for me, what I think like Cosby Show and like Full House was for a lot of other people. Like that was the only one that was like closest to me growing up that I could like watch, and the reruns were all close together. But yeah, I'm shocked that Gemini Man is not like doing well. I thought it would do at least average, not underperform.
All right, man. You got another one, or I'm not ready for the Sony one yet. That's gonna be our last
Do
one.
we want to just do talk about Disney Plus and how the mouse is taking over the world?
No, not yet. Okay, so I got another one. Here we go. So the Joker. If you haven't seen the movie, you got to go see this movie. The
At this
Joker.
point, yeah, I'm pretty sure theaters are holding that movie for a couple of extra weeks because the controversy and it's overall, it is just a well-written film. Like when I heard film will take no source material, I thought it would be Dragon Ball Evolution or The Last Airbender all over again. And even the directors of those films said we apologize greatly.
So yes, the Joker's doing great, but the iconic scene where we see Joker dancing on the stairs
Right.
in his makeup and his gown, that's a real place.
Is
like
it?
that's not a made up staged area. Like those stairs legitimately exist. And not only do they exist, I will give you the actual address of where they are. If you want to go visit those stairs, this is connecting the Shakespearean and Anderson Avenues at West 167th Street. These stairs were once particularly notable, but after the footage of Joaquin Phoenix's dancing down them in a clown makeup has released to the public, and especially after Joker's arrival, that has all changed for these stairs. So basically, they used to be really obnoxiously long stairs that no one liked to go up and down on, and now all of a sudden, everyone wants to go to them. There are literally videos on Twitter of tons of people
Doing the side-by-side Joker dance
like
up and down.
lining up across, like down the streets, just so they can get a picture on the stairs or dance on the stairs. There's a couple of pictures on Twitter of people just like doing the dance, and then you see like actual people who live in the area sitting on the stairs behind them. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, this is weird.
That's got to be weird if you lived there and you're just like, why are there
Yeah.
stairs popular?
Why are tons of people here? So a couple of things may happen.
It's in New York?
Yeah, it's
They'll
in the
find a way
Bronx.
to tax it soon.
Right? That's what I was gonna say. I was literally gonna say
There's-
that. Like that neighborhood, the Bronx, bro. Someone's gonna capitalize on that.
Yeah, New York is a place for capitalizing and find a way to make a profit off of anything.
Dude, they are gonna make a massive profit. Whoever can get a hold of those stairs and own those stairs, basically, they're gonna basically turn that into a massive tourist attraction. But yeah, if you get a chance, go see Joker, and then if you're in New York City, actually, my buddy's in New York City right now. I should tell him, go visit the stairs. Because you'll probably meet a bunch of random people who are like, what are you doing here? I'm going to dance on those stairs. Why? Because I'm a weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yes. Also, so do you think this is going to be a standalone? Do you think we'll see more, now that it's so successful, we'll see more properties spin off from this or be attached to this?
I think it was a standalone because Todd Phillips directed it, and I don't see Todd Phillips directing anymore.
You don't think they could try to
comic book
talk
ones.
him into doing another one?
I could see them talking
Or just
Joaquin
be like, hey,
Phoenix.
Todd,
I could see Phoenix like wanting to reprise the role because obviously this is a massive role for him. This is going to change his career, obviously.
Yeah, apparently Jared Leto's not happy about it.
Who cares about Jared Leto? He sucks. No
Yeah.
offense. I mean, dude, just stick to singing. And you're
I'm
not
surprised
even
he's
that
pissed.
great at that.
Apparently, he doesn't watch his own films. So the fact that
What does that
the
even?
fact that he went and saw this one, it was very bothered by it.
What? Like, who cares? Whatever. Just go cry to your gangsters or whatever that Joker does. But Joaquin's Joker, I could see him reprising the role under, under like maybe the new Batman series or
Yeah, I don't
something
know.
like that.
I think the Batman's
But-
supposed to be a standalone with Robert,
Yeah,
the Twilight kid in it.
So I was reading about that, and Robert was saying that he doesn't believe he would ever do a movie with Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. There was no hostility towards it. He just thinks it would be a different Joker. He doesn't think that one would fit into their, life or whatever. So I don't know. Plus, also, man, if you look at the Joker film as itself, you don't know what it is. I mean,
Really?
we don't know if it was real or if it was in his mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll never get that answer.
That's also part of what makes it such a great. It's going to be a new cult classic in the making because there's so much mystery around it. Like this is the type of film that we'd watch in my philosophy and film class.
Yeah.
Because this has so many different aspects to it, along with just the shooting of it by itself.
Yeah, so I mean, so we don't know where that will lead. The Robert Pattinson stuff that's going on right now. If you haven't been keeping up with that, there's a lot of story coming out with him. They did find a Riddler, apparently.
Okay.
So there is going to be a Riddler for sure. And they originally wanted Jonah Hill to be the Riddler.
I thought he was getting cast, but I've heard he's trying to be more in the director's chair than acting these days.
But instead they got Paul Dano. If you don't know who Paul Dano is, he's actually had a lot of smaller roles. He's never had like his own full-on role. Probably some of his more prominent ones was probably The Girl Next Door. He was the really tall, nerdy kid.
Right.
That was him with the long hair and like the awkward face, but he had the long dong. Or it was implied that he had a long dong.
The fencing mask on.
Right. Yep. That guy. Also, he was in a movie with There Will Be Blood. He was the son in that movie. There Will Be Blood, the son that gets killed. He was in that movie. Sorry, spoilers. But I mean, that movie's like 10 years old anyway, so it doesn't matter. So he's an interesting choice, man. Obviously, he would be, a really cool. Really, he's a very creepy character. Person, so moving on from that. Anyways, moving on from Robert Pattinson and whatever that shit show is going to be.
You don't think it's going to be good?
Dude, Robert Pattinson
just bugs you.
I don't see him as a Bruce Wayne. Like, he doesn't have a Bruce Wayne face, right? Like,
that's fair.
Like,
he could be young Batman year one Bruce Wayne who was going out every night and coming home with bruises because he was just not ready for.
That's the other thing too, man. Is there gonna be like another origin story with Batman? I'm done with origin stories. Like,
yeah,
like if they're gonna do a Batman and they're gonna be like,
if you watch it, Batman year one, he was going out every night and came home with these. Someone always, like every fight he got in Batman year one, someone always caught him slipping. Like he always got stabbed. Or
when you say year one, you're talking about the animated film.
Yeah,
yeah.
So he always got sliced or stabbed or cut or someone got in at least one punch. Like, if it's that Batman, all right, I'm cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say that it's going to be a really cool, good movie, but I don't think it will be. I don't know. I said that about the Joker, and I was wrong. So.
I'm saying that's what I'm like. Now that we've seen Joker has the capability of being its own thing and being phenomenal, I'm like a little more.
See, but this Batman, hopefully they're saying they're going to bring in more villains. So that's one thing I feel like a lot of the Batmans in the past have missed. Like, yeah, we had the Joker, and yeah, we had Bane, and then yeah, we had Ra's al Ghul. But then there's so many other characters that team up and work together, And Two-Face, like, no offense against Two-Face in The Dark Knight, but they kind of just like threw him in there, like kind of dust some pepper on that movie. Like, it was a fantastic movie.
He was supposed to be him and Joker supposed to have bigger roles in the third one had Heath Ledger not died.
Right, and that makes sense. But they could have brought him back for the Bane, like they could have given him a bigger role.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like there's so many characters that Batman has that they can capitalize on. So it's cool to see that they're bringing out the Riddler. There's rumor that there's going to be a Penguin also. To have a Penguin and Riddler like team up would be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Not actually a duo. Not uncommon.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it'd be cool to say. And then there's also Catwoman. Catwoman's going to be in this movie as well.
Is Catwoman getting a solo film? I can't remember if I heard that correctly.
No, I don't think so. She's I
saw we casted a Catwoman. I think that's what it was.
Right. She also has been in not a lot of roles. The most recent thing I can think of her being in, Zoe Kratz is her. I think it's gonna be Zoe Kratz. I think that's who it is. Yeah, Zoe Kratz. She's been in she was in X-Men. She was the lady with the fairy wings.
Okay.
If you remember that,
I still need to see the newest ones.
Okay, well then don't even worry about it because they're terrible.
X-Men.
So don't even look at them. So anyways, let's move on to the last thing here. So you wanted to bring up Disney and Sony reaching a deal. What else did you want to talk about?
Just that and the plethora of Disney Plus lineup because I have their whole catalog pulled up in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, their catalog's nuts.
Do you still hate Sony? Or are you taking a light?
Yeah, I mean, I still hate Sony. Like, they make crappy films. Like, I'm never gonna like Sony. I'm sorry. It's a terrible. They don't have any creativity.
Yeah, anyone who says Andrew Garfield is their favorite is just trolling.
Oh, absolutely.
And then that was supposed to be a Sinister Six that never turned up to be anything.
Right. There's talks that they're gonna work on a script for Sinister Six. Whatever. They have the new Venom that they're working on right now, Venom 2. But they're saying that they wouldn't even be able to bring Tom Holland in until Venom 3. So like they're saying that there would be a Venom 2 with basically Carnage versus Venom, which would be flipping awesome. I mean, I love Carnage. He's evil, just absolutely evil. He's psychotic. He's crazy. So if they do him right and they make the character right, it could be a phenomenal movie. But thus far, Venom 1 was not that great, in my opinion. I didn't like it. I know you liked it.
It was okay to me. I didn't know what to expect. When I saw it, I was like, this is actually like not a bad film. Like I thought Sony would drop the ball tremendously, but this is dope, and I think something can be done with this. Especially since we have the new, what was it, Deadpool, I think is now entering the MCU possibly.
Right, so Deadpool is definitely going to be entering the MCU, and they're having talks that maybe Deadpool teams up with Spider-Man, and then there's even more talks that it could be like a Deadpool, Wolverine, and Spider-Man. That would be awesome.
Did we recast Wolverine?
No, there's rumors that they want to bring Hugh Jackman back.
I know that he said the only way he'd ever come back is if he became an MCU character, and I would definitely be down for that. It makes
sense. He should.
I would be down for that. Completely just rebrand.
Is he too old for the role?
No, just rebrand the mutants and bring them into the MCU. Just say that, hey, some of us have been here before. The snap brought more of us into existence.
Well, if you keep up with Ryan Reynolds and his social media, which you totally should,
he's
if
hilarious.
If you want smile face every day in your life, follow Ryan Reynolds right now. But him and Hugh Jackman are like the best of friends.
Yeah,
they're like the best of friends. So, and then like Ryan Reynolds always teases about having Hugh Jackman come back as Wolverine.
Yeah, when they had
it would be amazing.
I think it was when they did the Deadpool 2 teaser. One of the teasers was him going to Wolverine's grave with the needle. It was like, you're not allowed to just leave me like this.
Yeah,
and he ends up not doing it. I'm like, that could still happen possibly.
I mean, it would be fantastic, man.
Gauntlet. He could just
in the first movie, he stapled Hugh Jackman's face to his forehead, so his girlfriend couldn't see his face. So I mean, there's just so many moments like that just make it really great. But getting back to the Disney and Sony stuff, Tom Holland basically played hero to this whole situation.
How so? Because I have no updates other than they reached a deal.
Yeah, he confirmed after weeks of standoff, it was actually Holland that saved Disney and Sony deal, allowing Spider-Man to remain in the MCU. A third Spider-Man movie starring Holland, the sequel of Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home, will hit theaters July 16th, 2021. Yeah, that's a long time. With Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige returning to produce the new film. So how did Holland play the hero without having to suit up? This was a question asked by Jimmy Kimmel on his show. And so anyways, and I quote from the president, "We had an event called D23, which is a big Disney fan event. Tom was there because he voices in the new Pixar movie Onward with Chris Pratt. He said something on stage, and it was clear that the fans wanted Tom back as Spider-Man, made by Marvel and our Marvel production team. The executive is, of course, referring to Holland's emotional message to fans gathered at the convention. I love you 3000 is what Tom Holland said.
I do remember that. D23 is great.
After D23, this is the president talking in. After D23, Tom reached out to folks who worked for me. Could I please have Bob's email address or phone number? Of course, I'm very protected, and they were very careful. I said, sure, have him contact me, and he did. We spoke. Basically, he made a cry on the phone, to which Jimmy Kimmel replies, really? And no, not really. And then he basically comes back and says, no, not really. But it was clear that he cared so much, and actually we care a lot about him. He's a great Spider-Man. I actually felt for him. And it was clear that the fans wanted this to happen. So after I got off the phone with him, I made a couple of phone calls to our team at Disney Studios, and then I decided to call the head of Sony. And I said, we got to figure out a way to get this done for Tom and for the fans. And we did. That's how it happened. He called me and I called them. That's how the deal went down.
Thank you, Tom Holland.
How awesome is that, huh? He goes on and he says, you know what happens sometimes companies when they are negotiating, or people when they're negotiating with one another, they kind of forget that there are other folks out there who actually matter. And that was the case here. There's a whole Parker family out there. So, incredible stuff. Thank you, Tom Holland, for making this deal a reality. Bob Iger, if you don't know who he is, he's the CEO of Disney, so he basically runs everything Disney. So it was a huge deal for Tom Holland to reach out to him and try and explain to him, like, hey, man, what's going on? We need to fix this. So incredible stuff, man. Good for Tom Holland. I'm so happy that he's back home where he needs to be. That includes 2 more movies, by the way. The deal includes 2 more movies, and then also productions with Sony, aka the Venom stuff.
Yes.
So
we get to have collaboration. Yeah. Finally, hopefully, big things in the future.
So Sony really wants Venom in the MCU. Like, they are pushing really hard for this as well.
No, I think either he can come through the next Spider-Verse, or they can, if he's not in the same universe as them. Between Deadpool having a time watch and a whole bunch of other things that have happened to other Marvel properties, they can shoehorn something and make it work.
Yeah, I mean, Deadpool has the time watch. We have the portal from the Avengers themselves.
Yeah.
That can go through time. Peter Parker is a genius in his own right, so he could easily figure out a way to get into the Spider-Verse somehow. I mean, there's just so many different ways and versions that this could happen. Ultimately, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Hopefully Venom 2 isn't terrible.
I mean, it's carnage. The first film sometimes sets the tone for the second, which is phenomenal. Like Spider-Man 2, is still some people's favorite out of the original 3.
Right. So we'll see what happens. Thanks again to Tom Holland for making that deal possible. But at the end of the day, the show must go on, and so Marvel will continue to turn out movies, aka they are. Their lineup for their Marvel movies. Sorry, you can talk about Disney Plus while I'm pulling this up. Sorry.
What are you trying to look for right now?
I'm pulling up the Marvel movie timeline.
Oh, the complete MC. Apparently, they're having
the new ones. I'm pulling up for
Phase 4.
Yeah, the Phase 4.
Oh, sick! I saw there's a whole DVD box set coming of the Infinity Gauntlet. So
I think it's already out. It's
is it? It's $500.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, it's something crazy.
But it almost is worth the price, because that's what, almost 30 movies.
No,
not 30. It's 20 something.
It's 20 something. Yeah,
I feel like you're getting a good amount for that. And then, especially ending on a cliffhanger with the way Far From Home did. I'm curious to see how they fix or undo that or carry on.
So, yeah, this is your timeline for Phase 4. First, it's going to be Black Widow. Everyone's super excited about this because essentially what they're saying is they're going to bring back Black Widow. Like, she's such an essential character. Somehow, someone's going to bring back Black Widow.
Yeah, IMDb has Robert Downey Jr. listed as a... It says rumored as Tony Stark in that movie.
So that's really cool. But if you keep going down the timeline, this is going to interact with your Disney Plus. Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to come out next fall. That's going to be a TV show on Disney Plus. We don't know if that's post. Obviously it would be post Endgame.
These are all post Endgame, I believe.
So then you have the Eternals coming, and the Eternals is going to be a really interesting movie because that's going to open up the universe. Like that's really going to open us up to just a whole bunch of stuff. If you don't know who the Eternals are, Thanos is part of the Eternals. He's a Titan, so he is a part of that family. And the Eternals, they believe Galactus is going to be the main villain. Which, by the way, the voice of Galactus is Liam Neeson.
That works. You either need something like a Liam Neeson or a James Earl Jones to play a character like that.
I have a particular set of skills. Yeah, so anyways, Liam Neeson is the voice of Galactus. That's going to be fucking massive. If you continue down this list, in 2 years' time, 2021, Shang-Chi, the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah, that dude tweeted himself into that role. Congrats to him.
He did. This is going to be an interesting film. Shang-Chi, he's basically like a better version of Iron Fist in this. Well, no, I wouldn't even say that. Like, he's not even like that. I don't know.
I think it will be because our Iron Fist was terrible for his first season.
Well, it's not a show. It's going to be a movie. So
even better.
The 10 Rings, though, is going to be interesting because they're saying that they're going to bring back, what is his name? Mordecai? Not Mordecai. Mandarin. And they're actually going to do him right. So Mandarin has the 10 Rings. The 10 Rings are based off, some believe they're based off the Infinity Stones, but a lot of it are just like each ring has its own power, and if he has control of all 10 rings, he's basically invincible. So it's going to be Shang-Chi, making sure that doesn't happen. Moving on to Disney Plus, WandaVision is going to come out in the spring of 2021. That's going to be cool. It's basically going to be Wanda and Vision and their adventures. So it could be post Endgame as well.
I think these are all post Endgame because Vision's dead.
Yeah, I mean, so
and
it's
then
going to be
this
interesting
is
how this
supposed to
happens.
lead into Doctor Strange, which I think is next on that list, right?
Moving on to Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. This movie I'm really stoked about. Marvel's talking about how this is going to be basically a horror film. It's going to be the first...
Yeah, because apparently this all goes into what, Dormammu's realm?
Yep.
Or the hellish dimension?
The hellish dimension for sure. There's a character called Nightmare, and essentially he is like a Freddy Krueger. Like, he just goes in your dreams and like
I
kill you in your dreams.
In like the origin film in like 2007, the animated one, that's who they were fighting because he kept haunting children,
dude,
like worldwide.
Scary, dude.
During that, Strange gets in his accident and becomes Doctor Strange, get Nightmare from basically terrorizing the world's population of kids.
So yeah,
I think Wanda fitting it would be a great fit for that film.
It's gonna be incredible, man. And then you fast forward to Loki. Loki is gonna be in Disney Plus. They say it's going to be like a kid version of Loki, so like him growing up through Asgard, like all those adventures from what I hear. But Tom Hiddleston supposedly is going to be the man who kind of takes over that. Then you move on to this new show that they're going to be doing on Disney Plus. It's called What If.
I'm excited to see what they do with that.
We don't know too much about it. I think it's basically like what if
scenarios, and it's all animated, so they have that. Opens the spectrum of what they can do
through comics and stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Then this is... Keep your eye out on this story. So the next one on the list, fall 2021, Hawkeye. That's going to be on Disney Plus as well. It's going to be a show. Jeremy Renner is supposed to be reprising his role, but if you haven't been keeping up with your news, Jeremy Renner's under some scrutiny for
I saw that. What
sexual assault stuff. I don't have the whole story, and I don't know completely what's going on with that, but essentially he could be out of the MCU soon. If this story holds up and if it's true.
And they could just easily just not do it.
And yeah, I mean, they could just scrap it, scrap the whole piece. They might have to rebrand him or do a different type of Hawkeye, possibly even bring in his daughter and have his daughter take over.
They were setting her up to be the Young Avengers, possibly.
So she could be the new Hawkeye or, whatever. And then finally, in a very distant time from now, November 5th, 2021, Thor, Love of Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, yeah. This is going to be one of the coolest films we will ever see in our life.
It's weird to me to get a fourth installment of any of these series so far.
The thing is, this is going to introduce Jane as Thor.
If it does, I want Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll bring in Beta Ray Bill. I mean, they have time to talk about it,
Yeah.
And then, the script's probably still in the works, but Jane Foster coming back. Natalie Portman's coming back as Jane Foster, and she's going to be Thor, Lady Thor. That's going to be freaking sick. So that's your lineup for coming out, and obviously a lot of us already knew this back in July, but raises some questions about Disney Plus. Where they're going to go with this, how this all ties in with the movie verse. Disney Plus is not part of theatergoers. Obviously, it's not a movie per se, but it does have movies. Can you kind of just go through quick? I wouldn't say every single movie, but just kind of name
not every movie, but this is like
some like highlighted
what I'm looking
movies.
at on like their fan wiki page. This is just a list of all the properties they own and could or could not be coming. So you have the Walt Disney Pictures Film Library, which includes Toon Disney Studios, Pixar Animation, Walt Disney TV Library, which is a Disney original shows, Playhouse, Disney Junior. That's what else? The new Lion King, Pride Rock, whatever show they have, everything back to like PB&J and Roly Poly. Toon Disney, Disney XD. That means you get shows like Super Robot Monkey Team, Hyperforce Go. Walt Disney TV animation, that's Jetix, which is Super Robot Monkey Team and Gargoyles. You get those type of stuff. Touchstone Pictures, ABC, Touchstone TV, Disney Nature Library. So all those Disney documentary films, all the Marvel Entertainment Library, Disney XD original movies, which no one watched, Disney live action adaptations of animated features, theme park attraction, Caravan Pictures, ABC Motion Pictures, ABC Pictures International Library. So I believe that is, what was the movie called? The Great Toaster?
The Brave Little Toaster.
The Brave Little Toaster. I think that falls into that.
And Blanket.
Saban BBS Library. That's Fox Kids, Fox Children's Productions, DePatie Freelang Enterprises, Marvel Films Animation, Parlamore Pictures, Lucasfilm, ABC Circle Films, post 1973 ABC Films, Movies of the Week Telemovies, Greengrass Productions, Valley Crest Productions, ABC Stations, Fox Family Channel, The SoapNet, ABC Productions Library, Lincoln Square Productions, A&E Network, so that's the History Channel, A&E Studios, Films, Indie Films, The Muppet Studio Library, 20th Century Fox, Movies, and then 20th Century Fox TV. And I believe they have Jetix of Europe, which I didn't know Jetix was a thing. They should have left it and killed Disney XD. It's terrible.
Whew.
Yeah, that was a mouthful.
Glad you got your breath back. Yeah, incredible, man. If you go to theverge.com, they literally have every single content that's going to be on this thing. And dude, I'm still scrolling. Like the whole time you were talking, and I'm still scrolling, trying to find all the stuff that they're going to have. I mean, they have, like you were saying, National Geographic's going to be on there. They have tons of documentary films. They're going to have The Simpsons, Little Einsteins. Gosh, man, there's just going to be so much. All the Star Wars movies, all the Lego Star Wars movies, the Mandarin, the new show, The Mandarin for Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's going to be sick.
Yeah, The Mandalorian, that actually looks pretty good.
Mandalorian, I can't talk.
Because the Mandalorians were some beasts in the animated series. Like, they were kind of like... It's like when you have those shows about, like, kingdoms and stuff, and there's always that rogue nation that no one messes with. Those were the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
The Mandalorians were so cold that when Darth Maul came back and took them over, Palpatine had to go sneak out for a minute. It was like, we have to deal with this because he's going to become a problem. And he, like, axes... Well, no, he didn't axe, but he took out Maul and his apprentice right there because he's like, Master, look at these people I've taken over. He's like, no, you're not my apprentice. You're now a rival, and you got to go. So The Mandalorians, I think, is going to be good. I'll be sad if that one doesn't turn out to do well.
Pixar is going to have all their movies on there. Disney, obviously, is going to have all theirs. I mean, dude, you got all the TV shows. That's So Raven, if you were into that. Mighty Ducks, the old cartoon series. Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck is so
stoked
the X-Men cartoon series, the Spider-Man series.
Gargoyles coming back.
Is great.
DuckTales. Guys, this is going to be incredible. You want to talk about reliving your childhood. Your parents did not ever have an experience like this before. So, anyways, that's pretty much all the news we have. Thank you, Gunnar, for chiming in the one time we had no other chimers. Thank you guys for watching, though. This is Amplified Network. We got tons of shows all the time. This Thursday, as always, you have the Funny to Informing guys, Chris and John. They will be doing their show as well. They just bring you news, some cool interviews. Last week, they had the grandson of Curly from Larry, Curly, and Moe,
really?
Three Stooges. Their grandson was on it, and he looks just like the guy, man.
Nice.
Looks spitting image of him. It's crazy. So they interviewed that guy. They interviewed a guy from Breaking Bad, like one of the actors. Like he's like a side actor, but still, I mean, that's pretty cool. So they get some cool interviews off. So make sure you check those guys out every Thursday, 7 p.m. right here on Amplified Network, and then on Thursday as well at 8:30ish p.m. we'll have 60 Minutes Suspension back. T-Dubs is still recovering from an ankle injury that he sustained from playing kickball.
Really?
So, yeah, it's about as manly as it gets, man. So, he got...
Disney Plus year post by year thread goes back to 1937.
Incredible. 1937. What was I doing in 1937? Oh, yeah, nothing. I forgot. So anyways...
They posted a property they owned from 1937 to today.
So, anyways.
So it's been crazy. Life's good. We are the theater goers. Tony will hopefully be back and healthy next week. Zombieland, which apparently people are really excited for. I saw the first one. I was like, it's cool. I didn't realize how hyped people were for this film, though. And it works because next week's Halloween.
There you go. So, everyone, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully, Tony will be back. Tony, we miss you. And we'll see you guys later.
60-minute suspension afterwards? Following?
Nope, Thursday.
Thursday. There you go.
See you guys. We out.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Oliver and Company. Good friend Roger Rabbit.